Hey guys, it's Shah here at the Tech Book, and today's video we're going to be doing recursion again. This recursion is going to be slightly different, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to first make a for loop to show you something, and then I'll use recursion to do the same thing, just to show you guys the difference between loops and recursion, I guess, and really how they work. So we're just going to make a simple program that adds together the values in a list. So let's make our list, let's call it x equals 1, 2, 3. Now if I want to sum up the values in the list, I could just use the built-in sum function, or I can actually make the for loop to do it. So for y in range, and then we want it to loop as many values there are in the list. So 0, then len x. So we need it to go up to the length of x, but not including the length of x, which Python for loop does for us. And then we just want to do, now we need to set up an accumulator, which is something that keeps count of all the values. So total equals 0. Now total equals total plus y of x of y. Now what does this do, you may be thinking? Well, you know how our y goes from 0 to the length of x, right? So what this does is it will keep producing the values of the values at particular indexes. So in the first loop it will be 0, so x of 0 is 1. Then this will be 1, meaning this whole thing will become 1, right? Because total equals total plus the value at the particular index. Now to show you guys it works, I just have to do print and total. So we know the sum of this is 6. It should produce a 6, and it's produced a 6, so you know it's working now. Okay, so anyway, now what we need to do is, I'm going to show you how to do recursion and show you how it works with some comments. Now recursion, remember how I first said we need a base case, so let's do that. So base case, what is our base case? Well, we're going to keep adding until we get to the last value, so we can have the last value as the base case, or we can start from the larger end and finish at the lower end, i.e. 0th. So the base case, for example, could be the last value, which is 1, which this is our base case now. Now let's try it. So define, right, recursion. We're going to define recursion. We're going to call this index, because we're going to be calling on particular indexes. Don't worry about this too much, I will explain later exactly what I'm doing. Now if index is equal to 0, what we want to do is we want to produce x of index, right? So we want it to return x of index. Always remember that recursive function should have return values, or it will just go on forever. So yeah, so just remember that. Now else, now if you have any other value of the index, now I'm going to tell you why we're using index now, because we won't know the specific values in the list, will we? So we won't be able to use any other way. Now else, so we want to return, we're going to have to do our x of index, right? Our length of our list. So what we're doing here is we're just going to be returning a value. So this value here would actually represent your highest value. So to get the highest value, we just have to do literally len of, and then we just do x, right? Length of x. And then we have to do plus, right? Because we want to accumulate the plus values, then we have to call recursion, right? Recursion, and then we want to produce, well, we want to do x minus 1 of the current index, so we just do index minus 1, right? Cool. Over here we could just use index because index is represents the length of the list basically. So we could just do that. Yeah. Anyway, so okay, let's print this and I'll show you how it works. As in, I'll explain to you how it works at least. And if there's any errors, I'll show you guys how to fix any. So if I just do the length of x, I think it might produce an error though. Okay, yep, little error, list index out of range. We just need to do a -1 here and it should run now. Yep, okay, as you can see our recursive program works. Now you must be thinking, how did I make the recursion? First of all, like I said, we need to have a base case. So what we did was, we said if the index is 0, i.e. this x of 0, we wanted to produce literally x of 0, right? Now, what we did was, these represent all the values that don't have an index of 0, i.e. they're these values. So how this works is, let's start off with the beginning. So if we call recursion, it will say recursion, the length is 3, 3 minus 1 is 2. So it calls recursion of 2. Now what does recursion of 2 evaluate to? Well, recursion of 2 goes to this else statement, right? And it produces x of 2 plus recursion of 1. Now what does recursion of 1 take us to? It takes us to x of 2 plus recursion of 1 would take you to this else statement again, because the value of the index is still not yet 0. So it's going to produce plus x1 plus the recursion of 0, right? Now this recursion of 0, it's going to end up going to this return x0, which is our 0th value. So that's how you know our recursion works successfully, because it has evaluated all the way down to x0, which is all the values in our list. And the thing is, we can just expand our list as much as we want and it will still work just as well. So, oh yeah, Python doesn't like these comments because they are not comments. Okay, sorry, 2 seconds guys. Alright, yeah, okay, let me just put this hashtag in and it should work just fine. Okay, there we go, it's working just fine. Oh, sorry, it's a bit slow. So while it's a small issue, so the recursion, it's pretty easy to design when you already know the for loop that's associated with it, because it literally takes on the form of a for loop in order to produce the values. So that's how it works. Sadly my IDE isn't working properly, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, recursion is very straightforward. It's just going through a set of values one by one, similar to a for loop, but we're using more memory, because remember, we have to store all these values in order to actually evaluate them like we evaluate them over here. And that's really it guys for this video. Again, if you have any questions, do comment it down below. I will be uploading next week or sometime sooner. Thank you for watching guys, and like, comment, subscribe.